Yeah.
Yo, we back on a Tuesday, not Friday.
Club going up on a Tuesday. Oh, we just lost one viewer. Sorry, guys. Oops.
Oh no, our horrible intro scared
Yeah.
everyone away. It
We'll
still
work on
says 3 for me, which is a new record. We've never had 3 people watching, guys.
That's
kidding.
not true.
Yeah. But
Times
we're
are
back.
tough.
We give you feedback on your music. So hopefully if you've landed here, then you've got some music to submit and get listened to. We try to give very detailed feedback. And we've got a whole system set up. So that link is in the chat there. Takes you to our website. There's some other stuff we can talk about later when a few more folks are in about that. But yeah, we could just get into our submission here. Otherwise,
shout out UE choice or maybe your choice. They misspelled one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunate, but yeah, if you want to go ahead and introduce it, I can make the post here.
Yeah. So we got a Dirty Juice by Your Choice.
Yeah.
Who is the producer and the artist, and the genre is electronic.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. Oh, wait, let me click the waveform real quick. All right, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Stop the music. If you just came in, y'all, submit your song. We've got an open queue.
Oh, free.
Quiet mix, huh? Cool. That's dirty. What the heck? Got the wisdom sound? Like old dubstep. It's like Darth Vader.
A little bit squelchy. A little bit organic.
I like it.
I just eat bugs. Weird.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to be
Interesting.
that long. Yeah, 338, but it was hard. It
Very
was dirty.
insect like.
I got Duck Vader, like a little quacker quacking in
Oh
my
yeah,
ear,
a little bit.
but more evil. So yeah, that's what I was feeling. But very reminiscent of the old style dubstep. I'd say pre Skrillex era,
Hmm.
kind of Rusko ish perhaps. Pretty loud, pretty cool. I think much too long. I
Yeah.
think even in those eras, it was a little bit more shorter of songs as well. A little goofball here and there. Like I don't know why you got the Flintstones or like Scooby Doo kind of running away sound.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's like kind of uncanny. Like it could be funny if it's like used before a drop, which was like a big trope back then too. But it kind of was just like slapped in there, and it was just like, huh, why? So I don't know. Overall, pretty decent. Not super compelling, I would say. But what do you got? And
Um
y'all, if you're here, 5 people, we got a completely open queue after this. You can check out how good our feedback is, and then you can send in your music too, because we want to listen to it. So use that link. We made the website ourselves. If you have some trouble, we can help you and walk you through it. So yeah. Anyway, sorry. What'd you say?
yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of just like rudimentary would be my first impression. It's
Mhm.
just like there's a lot of stuff here that I know is like takes skill to do, takes time to learn the wubs and all that. But just stylistically, like Chris, you kind of said, it sounds like pre Skrillex dubstep, just kind of
Mhm.
like early stuff
Mhm.
before people like figured out the full tool set.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just it doesn't change very much throughout. It's kind of the same thing.
Mhm.
The structure doesn't make a ton of sense. Like it's just a little bit awkward in some of those pauses where it gets like much quieter, much more stripped back, and then it just doesn't have like a good energy curve to it. It's like
Mhm.
why are things happening when they are? What's the story? What's the journey that we're supposed to be taken through?
Mhm.
So to me, it's like as usually is the case with kind of earlier like music, um, it just doesn't have that connecting thread through it. Like, why are we listening? It's
Mhm.
one thing to demonstrate that you can make music and put sounds together. It's another thing to make it a craft and make it about the listener's experience, not just your experience as an artist,
Mhm.
and your experience getting something in front of people.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's the next step. And you will have a leg over a lot of people if you can figure out how to weave story and journey and, balance into your tracks.
Mhm.
But that's just kind of my impression right now. It's kind of like there's a lot that needs to be worked on. I don't think the production's terrible. I don't personally love the like squelchiness and sort of insect like nature, whatever you called it,
Mhm.
of
Duck
those
Vader.
sounds. Yeah.
Pretty
But
quacky.
each their own.
Yeah.
Yo, Tarek MG, welcome back.
Sheesh. What's up, y'all? You want to get another one of your heavy metal hits?
Yeah, send us
Cool.
something. We've got an open queue.
How's it going, lads?
Oh, you
Pretty
just
good.
did
How
send
about
us
you?
something. Nice.
You did?
Yeah. Got that in the queue.
Sheesh.
So you're up next. Thanks for that.
Another mouthful. A Starry Night on the Road to Damascus. Fire. Look at that epic album art. I can't wait.
Pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, mateys. What's up, pirate? Um,
Nice.
yeah. You want to go ahead and give a vibe score?
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay. I think it was like decently hard, just too long. Like Josh said, no really main thread that's compelling. I wish you expanded on the Duck Vader concept, just because I think it'd be funny. But, anyways, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Content.
Um, structure. I mean, yeah, it's kind of sounds and structure, which is sort of like what we're trying to get feedback on, I guess.
Mhm.
The sounds are a little bit squelchy. They are what they are, and the structure is kind of lacking. It's just like doesn't make sense where sections are placed. Things are too long, too repetitive. You need to think more about songwriting and less about zoning on one specific dubstep sound and being like, oh yeah, that's really cool.
Mhm.
It's just not quite enough for like a listener who doesn't really care about like the intricate process of this one specific sound
Mhm.
you spent a lot of time on. It's like, does it all fit together, and is it a pleasing experience? Is it worth listening to 3 minutes and 38 seconds of it?
Mhm. Nope.
So, yeah, right now, probably not.
It's a cool loop
Yeah,
for sure.
Cool Loop could be like a good foundation of a whole song, but right now it's just like a concept.
Mhm. 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 Yeah, I agree, and I kind of said it already. I do like the sounds. Josh doesn't like it too much. I understand why, but yeah, some weird inserts in there too. If you put something in Goofy, I'd hope that would have a little bit more meaning to it, other than just like making be like, oh, I know that sound, but why is it here? So yeah, I kind of harped on that already, but yeah, decently hard drops, decently hard, kind of like drum sounds as well. I do wish they popped out a little bit more, but we can get that into production. Production is pretty good. Content, specifically arranging and kind of telling the story, is where it's lacking. So that'll be reflected in the score. You have a score?
Yes, sir.
Three, two, one. Yeah, yeah. Production.
And I mean, production's not too bad except for the leveling disparities. I
Yeah.
just didn't. I thought that those quieter sections would just sound better if they weren't so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can still be toned down a bunch, but it's just like I'm not getting the richness out of the timbre of that weird little sampled instrument thing, whatever it is,
Mm.
because it's so quiet and it doesn't sound like it's quiet in like an artful way. It's just like you turn the volume down.
In the beginning.
uh, in the like middle sections. The beginning I don't really care about as much because we don't have like expectations yet,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're able to like have some drama around it getting louder. But
Mm-hmm.
when you go back in the middle into these sections that are so quiet,
Mm-hmm.
it's like what repeating over and over.
It's a cool sound.
It's cool, but there's just zero transition. It's
Yeah.
like what's the energy curve like? What's supposed to how is it supposed to fit together?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's just like that was random.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want your listeners to think I don't understand how that's supposed to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Make something that has a good flow to it. It just intrinsically sounds cool, and like almost everyone will agree that there's like this thing was executed well.
Mm-hmm.
So you might ask like, but I've heard songs that go loud to quiet, and it's like, but it's the way that it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the style of how you fit things together. It's not just the idea of
Mm-hmm.
going from loud to quiet. It's the execution. So
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest listening to some reference tracks, getting feedback like from us and from other people, just figuring out does it sound awkward or does it sound like smooth or like clever or fun or interesting or powerful?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it just doesn't have much emotion to it. It's just kind of randomness. It's
Yep.
like, yeah. You
Mm-hmm.
got any other production tips?
I thought that I like how the drums are like kind of sounding very clean. I just wish they poked through a little bit more, just to
Mm,
hit me in the chest a little bit. But yeah, no, I thought the drops for the most part were mixed pretty well. I don't know why the beginning. Just be cautious. It's 20 seconds of quiet, and it sounds like it's mastered quiet.
yeah.
So like, ask yourself if someone's gonna really sit through all of this
Yeah.
when like they have to turn it up anyways, and then when they finally do turn it up and it hits 22 seconds
There's
hard.
like there's like dead space in there too.
Yeah, and again, I like the drops. I think they're hard, and I think they mix pretty well. But yeah, that's what I have for production. It's pretty good. I think it's the best score out of all of these categories for me. So
I'm gonna give it a quick listen here. Let's see.
why?
Yeah, honestly, listening closer, I think your drum sounds again are good.
Mhm.
Like and the low end on the track sounds pretty controlled. It sounds good.
Yeah,
Um, but I think that's sort of just slightly squelchy, organic sounding wub wub thing
farts.
is just overpowering the rest of the mix a
Yeah, it
little
is.
bit.
Sure.
And that's probably the biggest opportunity here is to like either make it more pleasing and still be very far forward like it is,
Mm-hmm.
or bring it down a little bit just so it can be better balanced with the really great sounding like drums and bass components that you've got.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my advice.
I agree with that. Score.
uh yeah, I've got a score.
Three, two, one.
Yeah.
Baba Booey. Okay, track total.
Track total.
Did I send this? There we go. You guys can give a similar rating here in our Discord there. Help the boy out. Track total, where am I at? I think I can do this. You got a score?
Yep.
Three, two, one. Yo.
Sweet.
Decently hard drops, but no story.
It's
Expand
on
on
the
that
way.
later.
There's
Yeah.
definitely skill involved. Like it's not one of those tracks. It's like, oh my god,
It's
this is
hard, yeah.
horrible. It's just like you've got some good sounds going, and you're
Mhm.
putting things together, starting to put things together, but you need like the macro, the song structure to be put together.
Yes, yes.
So yeah.
Submit again. We'd love to hear it.
Yes.
Speaking of submitting again, Tark MG, back to backs.
Mm-hmm.
A Starry Night on the Road to Damascus. And you want to go ahead and introduce it? There's a lot here.
Yep. So we've got roles: composer, guitarist, producer, mixing engineer, mastering engineer. Genre: progressive metal. The artist is Tarek MG.
Fire.
And description: as last time, what is the story of this track? Ah, we were just talking about that.
Yes, see how
um,
important it is?
yeah. Also, would like to
Yeah,
know
knows.
the good aspects that I can double down on in the future, and the aspects I should pay attention to more next time. Sorry.
Oh, you said this almost exactly the same. Okay, so you want to know what the story of the track, what we get from it. What are the good aspects? Okay. Okay, cool. Sounds
All
good.
right.
Thanks for the description as well. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm ready.
And if anyone else is in the chat right now, send your tracks in.
Yeah.
Send
Put
them
it
a
through.
link. Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's listen.
3, 2, 1. Hard.
Cool.
hard as shit. It's like August Burns Red again. August Burns Red core meets Avenged Sevenfold, but with no vocals. But shouts out to you, Tarek. Sounding clean as always, and epic as always. Josh, what do you got for Ab's first impressions here?
I'm trying to think like how this all fits together
Mm-hmm.
and how it could all fit together into something that's really like um I don't know, attractive or like great.
Mm-hmm.
Um the big problem to me right now I think is like the overall sort of energy graph, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts out like here. Let me do it the other way for you guys. It starts out like here and then it just ramps up and it's kind of like teetering on like full energy the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, there's that little part where it ramps down here for a little bit, but I think you've got this problem. I don't think your intention necessarily is it for it to be at 100% energy the whole time. I
Mm-hmm.
think you're trying to make it dynamic. I think that's not coming across because of the mixing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason for that is there's so much clashing between stuff that it creates all this like mental strain on the listener to try to like hear stuff. It's fatiguing basically.
Wallow noise.
Yeah, it's just like there's so much on top of each other, and with the mixing, there's a lot of high mids and like mids and high buildup,
Mm-hmm.
which just makes it sound crowded and
Mm-hmm.
harder to process like exactly what's going on at the same time.
Yep.
So instead of like, oh yeah, the guitars sound awesome, and then like I can focus on the drums and they sound great, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's this like Middle Eastern influence stuff behind it. Right
Right.
now, it's just like yeah, like I can sort of tell that there's guitars there, like the drums, I can hear the beater noise every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but like most of the time, I can't hear the entire like essence or body of each part.
Yep.
It is kind of just a wall of noise.
Mm-hmm. It's
So that
exacerbated in those hook sections where everything comes together too.
yeah, and you've
Uh,
got this really high pitch sound that I think is not helping. I think it adds to the chaos.
mhm.
And it sort of stuck out at the end there when it was still
Is it
ringing.
the guitar solo?
That really high thing, which I think is at the beginning also. I think it's throughout the track.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of like it.
You hear it though, that
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. I think execution wise, it does not work right now. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's not its fault. I think it's the fault of everything else potentially, but maybe you need to just get rid of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe that would help with this goal of
Mm-hmm.
making things sound less crowded
Mm-hmm.
and directing the attention or allowing the attention of the listener to be directed at what's important and not distracted by all of the either like excess high frequency, excess mids, or just excess parts that don't need to be there. It could even be busyness of some of the parts. Like, does the kick need to do like that super fast, like 16th or 30-second note thing like all the time? I know that it's part of the genre. I just wonder if there's a way to make it more to just come alive a little bit more. That might mean taking some of those beats out of it. So instead of it just being like a having like a some missing note in there that makes the rhythm more interesting, or it could just be like the sound choice and the mixing, like all these things fit together to form this puzzle that determines how things are digested by your listener. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, it's like too much basically.
Mm-hmm.
So to figure out how do we scale it back, make it a little bit more elegant, still getting the core like uh, message across, the core style across, but without like overwhelming. So yeah, that's my main overall feedback is that it's just a lot right now, and I like the inspiration underneath it and what you're trying to do. But the whole time it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds of like we're all the way up here, and sometimes when you sort of try too hard to like sound really hard or sound really bassy or whatever, that's like the easiest giveaway for people that this is amateurish because it's like you're not doing things in like a measured sort of experienced wise way within your genre. You're just like throwing everything at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also like you have to make hard choices when you're arranging this kind of thing to say like if I'm combining two genres, which I think we talked about with you last time, what do you omit? What's not really that important about that genre that doesn't need to be emblematic of that part of your combination, and what's really important, and making sure that you have enough room for the things that matter. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you think of just metal, right? And it's got chugging guitars and a bass player, probably a 5 string, maybe a 6 string, maybe a 7, 8, 9 string bass. whatever it is these days, so you can get down to like the brown note. Um,
Boom.
and then you've got drums with, one, two, three, four, maybe five or six kick pedals.
Mhm.
But no, like seriously, I mean, you've just got like those basic instruments: guitars, bass, drums, and then usually you'd have a vocalist also.
Mhm.
Now, it might actually work in your favor that you don't have a vocalist here, because that's one less element to crowd up your mix.
Yep.
So if you're thinking about like, okay, normally there's four parts in metal, I've got three here now, and then this other genre, this, I don't know what you'd call it. Maybe you list that there? Not really. You just wrote progressive metal, but like the
Mhm.
Middle Eastern vibe stuff with all the strings and whatever else it is in the background,
Mhm.
that might have like one type of like two or three different types of strings, and then like some hits, like percussive hits,
Mhm.
and some other part in there, like little sound effects. Well, now you've got five parts plus three parts, so you've got eight parts. Good luck finding a genre or a style of music or just an example of like a song or a set of songs that have that many distinct components that are all fighting for attention at the same time.
Mhm.
So like what you really need to do is like compare to like all these different genres and understand what the standard is for like how many points of focus can you build into a track.
Mhm.
And then you have to figure out how can I combine this set of 3 and 5 elements, for instance, into like 5 total. So you might need to get rid of something. Like maybe you have to get rid of some aspect of the metal percussion to make room for an aspect of the other genre you're trying to combine with percussion, like those hits if you have that. Um, or maybe you just need to get rid of like some of the string parts. Right? It doesn't need to be a whole symphony, because a symphony is going to clash with like multiple doubles of like chugging guitars and drums and bass and other sound effects. So that it's really about like what's the total pool of sounds and like focal points that you're trying to build into your track, and how does that compare with stuff that tends to work out in the wild,
Mhm.
and make something new, because then it allows you to actually not just combine two things and overlay them, but now you're like being strategic about what you're picking and choosing to make something that is totally new but is also simple enough and digestible enough for people to enjoy.
Mhm.
So that's what I would suggest, is like you can't have it all, especially when you're combining genres. It can't just be like one on top of the other. You need
Yep.
to eliminate things until it's not stressful to listen to.
Mhm.
And you also need to mix things so that there's not so much clashing high end and mid range. And that's the same exact process. You're just going in and figuring out which instruments need this frequency range and which ones don't.
Mhm.
Cut the frequency from the ones that don't need it so they're not hogging it up. And you will be surprised how much clearer everything is and how much more pleasing the mix is to listen to.
Yep.
So it's really about elimination, just so you can like take this canvas you've got, take out the unimportant parts, and be left with something that's curated and beautiful and like simple enough to digest and really enjoy and be novel and new. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's, I think, encapsulates the feedback that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Junkie Beats? Did you mean to say yo instead of yep? But what's up? Love to see you here. If you have music, which I hope you do, you have beats in your name. I sent over the form there. Be like Tarek. Be like your choice as well. Submit the song. If you have any questions, we made the website as well, so we can help you out with it. But yeah, glad that you're here and witness the feedback, because we go very in depth, and you'll see our system here. We're just on the kind of first section here, which is vibes, all encompassing. I talked about it already. Very Avenged Sevenfold vibes, very August Burns Red. No vocals here to key in on, but this man Tarek has a very skillful, I guess, melodic kind of skill that he has. Like there's very interesting kind of an Arabian feel that's going on with the instrumentation as well as the melodic lines. I think it's very cool. As to Josh's point, I feel like that's some of the parts that should be more emphasized, because that's what makes it unique. And if I could get a little bit more surgical, I have a point here I'd like to play and see if it'll work. Okay, so that's like a wall of sound, right? That's
Yeah.
happening. And if you listen carefully, there's actually, and I didn't hear it this time, or I heard it this time, not the first time. There's like actually some crazy runs that are going on this plucky Arabic instrument that like I barely caught, but that's the most interesting part, right? That's like the newest part. Like in the other sections of the songs, you have the butt chugging guitars and like the hard drums, which is fire. but they have their time to shine in those sections. Like let them shine there. But when it comes to this like huge hit of like crazy strings that are happening, and then this super like run, that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about the butt chucking. The butt chucking can happen again in its own section, and I can rock out to it. But at this point, because it's not very subtracted out, it's not very focused. It just ends up being like a wall of sound that hurts to listen to. And it's a shame because you sound pretty skilled in terms of your composition. It's just more so like uh, it might be a syndrome of like not wanting to mute your babies. Like, oh, this line
Yeah.
is very cool. This guitar is very good. I don't want to duck it, but you have a spotlight that you should spotlight different things at different times to make it a compelling show, a contrasting show that makes us want to stay for the whole ride. So yeah, I echo a lot of what Josh has said. You asked specifically what it gives you in terms of a vision. And I told you it's like Egyptians fighting Vikings, and it's a big war and full of climaxes and things like that. So the Vikings are kind of overpowering right now. You got to get the Egyptians a little bit more manpower. But yeah, it's cool. You have I could tell you have very skilled in terms of your composition. It's just I think mixing for me, and it's not like it's bad. Like it sounds pretty clean actually. It's just crowded. So
Just
yeah.
to add an idea from what we just
Yes, we
listened to
react
and what
to
you said.
any genre. I
Well,
am so wet.
depends what genre you're talking about. I am so wet. Can you let us know? I mean, you
Yeah,
can submit stuff, but
I guess if it's
also
music, yes, we have reacted to some debaucherous shit. But your name there is if it's any hint to what music you have, I just got to brace myself for it. That's all. But yeah, we got Marma submission. If that's you in the chat, was
Junkie
that you,
Beats.
Junkie Beats? Let us
Yeah,
know.
he said it
But we
is.
got it. Don't ever let go. That's next. So cool.
Yeah, he's Marma and yeah, Tarek. Glad that you think that's helpful. The only thing I was going to add relative to what you just said is one with mixing, you might be able to figure out what to sort of remove based on what fits into the mix. So when we were listening to that, you've got these cymbals, like the drummers playing all these fucking cymbals like crazy, which would
Mm-hmm.
make sense if it was just a metal song in that moment. But you've got all this other high frequency stuff that fills that space in the mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these strings and stuff. So like, do you need that there? Like, imagine if it was to be more of like a fill type thing that didn't involve cymbals, and you've still got all this like high stuff, and it would kind of build the energy. And the guitars, even like they could be doing some chugging there, or again, there's so much drama already. It's so percussive already. Why don't you just have like more drawn out like power chord type stuff, not chugging,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you know, just
Yeah, in that section, there was chucking, there was tom hits, there was, and the Egyptian stuff, all kind of clashing with each other and
yeah.
fighting
Uh,
for spots.
the point is just that like you don't necessarily have to remove all the parts either. It's
Yeah,
more so like how
exactly.
can the members of the band play together,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like can you imagine if this was a real band and they're all in a room, like they wouldn't all be stepping on each other's toes like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to try to think from each instrument's perspective, like not like what does a metal drum kit sound like, but like no, how would a metal drummer play when there's like a symphony in the room and the guitars are doing this, and it's like everyone's got to be thinking about what the other parts are doing.
I would say, how would a good and considerate metal drummer
Yes.
play?
Yes,
Not a,
exactly.
yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways you can think about it. It could be from a mixing lens, it could be from just like getting rid of stuff and combining genres lens. It
Mm-hmm.
could be from like sitting in the shoes of the instrumentalists to figure out what to play. But yeah, it's all about fitting the things together in a more thoughtful way and not just like overlaying everything,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think you got. So hopefully it's helpful. Do you want to give
Yep.
a score for vibes?
Yeah, we went kind of hard on vibes here, but overall, it's pretty hard.
It's all the
Pretty hard.
categories.
Yeah. Have a score. Do you?
Yeah,
3, 2, 1.
cool.
Content.
And yeah, like we talked about, it's just mainly about arrangement here, fitting things together. Does it warrant 4 minutes and 20 seconds? My intuition is that unless you're able to make this like spectacular, like much, much more intriguing overall, that would be warranted. I think right now it's too long.
Mm-hmm.
A story that's not totally there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard to have like a 4 minute audio scene of like a war between these two groups.
Mm-hmm.
Is there unless you're sort of like there's a lot of dynamic range and diversity where you've got different sections that are doing completely different things, but right now it feels like basically one big section, and then you've got like a little bridge at the end and then it ends.
Yeah, it's just all fighting.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly.
it. There's no resolution or no story arc to follow. It's just
Yeah.
uh yeah. Cool. Yeah, otherwise I talked about like the melodies and the composition I think is pretty superb in a vacuum. I just want to hear them more, and that's more so I guess production. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it overall. Um cool. You have anything else to say?
Nope, got scores.
3, 2, 1. Baba Booey.
Cool.
Production.
Um, yeah, and then production again. It's mostly about clashing. I think like levels are well, it's clashing and also highlighting things in the right way and like turning things off. Like the arrangement factors into the mixing, but the main thing with mixing itself is definitely the high end clashing and EQing everything to fit better into the mix and not be like eating up frequency space that it doesn't need.
Mhm.
And again, don't get caught in the trap of mixing something soloed. Don't do that. You can do it if you really need to get like surgical with something in particular, but you should be mixing in the context of other instruments so things fit together.
Mhm.
And it's okay if they don't sound great soloed. Nobody's ever going to hear them soloed.
Mhm.
So what really matters, like even if your bass is missing a big chunk of the mid range, or your guitars are missing like some high end or something, as long
Mhm.
as it sounds good in the mix, you've won. Doesn't matter what it sounds like soloed. So just keep
Mhm.
that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And I talked a lot about production in it as well, so I'm ready to give a score.
Uh, yeah, I've got a score.
3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Track total, and yeah, I put the Discord link in there. It goes to our Discord. There's a message there. Each song we give feedback to has this little poll that you can put in the same scoring mechanism as we do for the track total. So, yeah. With that being said, do you have a score?
Yes, I do.
3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty hard.
Yeah,
I like your style. Yeah, I
very
think this one.
creative.
Yeah, I think this one was better in terms of highlighting uh, the orchestral elements a little bit more, and I think that's what makes you more unique. So I'd like to hear that more, just a little bit less wall of sound here.
Hmm.
So cool. Appreciate you, Tarek. See you next time. Three
Yeah,
times in a row, perhaps. We'll see.
cool shit.
But everybody else, we got 6 people in the room right now, and we got 2 people that wanted to submit. I believe we got one of them, Marma. Shout out, Marma. You're next. If anybody else wants to, we typically get through 5 to 6. Hard stop at 5:30 p.m. Central, so we have plenty of time really to get through all these
7:30
songs.
Central.
Sorry, 7:30.
Just
5:30
so
is when we
folks know.
started. Yeah, wicked. Cheers, guys, for listening. Shout out to you for submitting. We appreciate you. Um, but yeah, use that link here in the chat. The website we made it ourselves, so if you have any trouble with it, please don't hesitate to ask. We can help people out. It should work. It should work pretty seamlessly. People figured it out. So, but yeah, there's always some of you guys that are a little slow. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So yeah, want to go to the next song?
Yep. So we've got "Don't Ever Let Go" by Marma, and
Fire.
role is beatmaker. Genre is chill step, and description is mix and general vibe check.
Vibe check. All right.
So yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. Get out of here. This is trash. No, just kidding. All right. Let's do it.
Wait, so you wrote chill step beatmaker? Is this like a beat that you want to like sell
Mhm.
to somebody to
Oh
like
yeah.
put
Let us know.
vocals on, or like, or is this a finished
Is this a
track? Like,
type? Is
what's
this
the
a
goal?
type beat? What's happening?
Yeah, is it? I mean, I guess let's listen and see what it sounds like.
Yep. But okay, cool. I'm ready.
All right,
Three, two,
three, two,
one.
one.
Don't ever let go.
Nice.
Nice sounding bass and nice stereo field on the claps or whatever there. Yeah. Snaps.
Pretty clicky on the drums.
Yeah.
Man, I want you to go flume on that shit and go crazy with with side chaining on those strings back there, those warp strings. That sounds very cool. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't know that that was kind of lying in the back of everything else that I heard, which was pretty beautiful to listen to. So shout out Marma 145. Felt shorter than I thought it would, but yeah. What do you got for vibes? First impressions?
Yeah, I think it's a good start. It's like it's got a nice flow right now. I know it's probably not like done. It's only a minute 46, but
Mhm.
the main thing that I was kind of fixated on, I really like the sound of the bass. It's like kind of warm and it's just fits in very well. And I like the percussive stuff too. But it feels to me like there's more emphasis on like the sort of higher frequency range of the mix.
Those drums.
Yeah, like you've got a lot of different percussive layers for like the snare. So you've got like snaps, you've got I think maybe some claps in there and like some rim shots or something like that.
Hmm.
Um and those are all like up here in like the frequency range.
Hmm.
And then like the bass element is really nice, but I think level wise it's a little bit further back than like all of that percussive snare stuff is.
Yeah.
Um, and it's also like time wise, like I want more of it. Right now, there's such a short decay on that like kick that it just leaves a hole, and the whole mix sounds very like top heavy and bright when
Mm.
that's not there. I wish that it was more immersive, like the mix would sound more immersive if that kick part got more of a spotlight, or just honestly had like a slightly longer decay. So instead of feeling like 1/4 of the time there's like bass and then there's empty space and then bass, what if it was like a third or half? So there's like just a little bit more of that bass feel. So you've got that immersion, and then it cuts out and comes back. Um, See if you can hear that when you just listen to this quickly again.
Don't ever let go.
Very short decay. And then there's those offbeats where there is no kick also, which like is fine, makes sense. But I just feel like that low end range is not really there most of the time, and there's a lot of density in like the mids. There's some warm stuff happening, which I like, but I want to lean more towards immersion and clarity than what it is right now, which is like top heaviness and mid heaviness.
Mhm.
But it's a great start. I mean, for something that you said you just whipped up a couple hours ago, this is awesome. Like
Yeah.
sounding really good.
Hmm. Yeah, I love the piano. Love the kind of solo cello. I'm hearing maybe a violin. That was cool,
Hmm.
and that warped strings. That's kind of very lush and adding some texture to everything. That sounds great. Drums are very cool and crisp. Maybe a little bit heavy on the top, like Josh is saying. I agree. Vocalist sounds like a sample, but it's cool. Um, I would love for like I said, I don't know what your plans are to do this. It's chill step, so I don't know if you're trying to do a drop, but you got enough compelling things for me for 145 to have like a nice solid section, and then maybe just like some sort of change up, like a drop, and that could be the end of the song. So I don't know what your feeling is on that, but you got a lot of cool layers, especially those warp strings. So yeah, would love to hear what you're thinking about it. But yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. It's very impressive. So shout out to you. Cool. Want to score for vibes?
Yeah, let's see.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
3, 2, 1. Baba Booey.
nice.
Content. I am content with this. What about you?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously a draft. Again, it's not all there yet.
Mhm.
I like what you've got a lot. I think there's some subtle tweaks to the arrangement, like we just talked about. Um, but it's cool for what it is. I guess where I'm at right now is like I want the rest of it.
Mm.
So it's good. Just like, yeah, let's see what else you got. How can you flesh this out into a full song?
Mm-hmm. Flush it out. Flush it down the toilet. No, I'm just kidding. All right, content. Yeah. Yeah. It's just not done yet. What do you have right now? Is solid. I would like a drop, but it's up to you. You are the artist, so that would be my suggestion. But yeah. Cool. You have a score?
Uh, yes, I do.
3, 2, 1. Raw. Production.
And
I
then
guess
yeah,
I am a little high. Sure. It's not done yet.
yeah.
I like what I'm hearing.
Production is again. I just want there to be more immersion, but like you've got really good stereo field on the drums and the other stuff that's in the higher frequency range. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think you have your head on straight. Sounds like you know how to generally balance things and
Mhm.
get a sound. So I think it's again just about turning it into a full track and seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty decent. Yeah, you want to score?
Yeah,
3, 2, 1.
cool.
Yeah. Oh wait, what did you get? I didn't see it. Ah, okay, 82. Yeah, pretty close
Yeah.
with me. Yeah, much love, boys. Thanks so much for the feedback. Fire. Yeah, thanks for submitting too. We
Mhm.
have the track total as well, but yeah, what are you gonna do with the song? Let us know. Are you gonna get a new vocalist? Are you gonna keep the vocalist? Is that a vocalist or a sample? I don't want to call you out, but just curious what your plans are and what you're feeling. But
Mhm.
yeah, overall, where am I at? Cool. Yeah, I think I got my score. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
3, 2, 1.
Cool.
I would think yeah, maybe I can't
Yeah.
give it up for the song 80, but yeah,
It
pretty
seems like a
dang good.
good, yeah, good start of an idea, and seems like you've got the skills to make cool stuff. So feel free to send us stuff again. If you're not already following us on Twitch, because I think you're a first timer, feel free to do that.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
also got like I guess we can direct people to this stuff. We've got a Discord if you want to
yeah, yeah,
join there, and yeah, happy to give feedback whenever we can. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a just splice sample. Haha, I told you. Looks like you got your own emoji too. Fire. Or emote, excuse me. Would love to extend and flesh it out. Yes, so it's the last track I've started for my EP I'm working on. It's the closer. All
oh
right,
okay. Yes,
big,
send us
big.
stuff before you release it,
Yeah,
like
we'd love
things
to
that you
hear it.
think are in the final stage.
Yeah, we love to hear it. And judging from what I've heard today, I'm sure the EP is going to be fire.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, and join the Discord and stuff. Coming soon. We'd love to have like a lounge after the streams to just talk to people. I'd love to hear what your like strategy is for promo and like what you want to do with the album and EP because you seem like a pretty talented artist. So I'm curious.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll be in touch perhaps. So everybody else, we have more room in the queue if you guys want to submit your songs. We got Geisha by AIR. If you're in the chat, shout out to you. Thank you for submitting. Def, if you've got more time, I have one in the end stages of development. We do have time. We have time until 6:30. We typically stray away from having people submit 2 songs in one stream because that would be like 40% of the stream dedicated to somebody. But if we don't have any submissions, like yeah, do it. We'd love to listen to music rather than not. So
Yeah, what we can do is if once we start doing the new one, this next track, if you submit yours,
yeah, just put
and
it in the queue.
the form should be available there. That yeah, then we can do yours if nobody else submits today. But if
Mhm.
somebody does, we'll just push you to the next stream.
Yep, yep, yep.
So yeah,
If not,
we've
no
got
worries.
that.
Fire.
We should also mention, I guess, as we go into this next one,
Yeah, yeah,
that we are building a platform behind this. So this is just our feedback stream,
yeah,
the easiest way to get some quick help from us on your music, but we're trying to build something that you can use with your collaborators. So behind the scenes, FastTrack, the site you're using right now, has like a fully fledged beta version of our collaboration platform. You can create teams and organize all the people you collaborate with, and assign like different roles to people, so you can see who's your producer, who's your artist, who's doing management, who's doing promo, etc. You can message those people. There's messaging built in, and then you can create projects. And in those projects, you can store your tracks and individual versions of those tracks as you work on them.
yeah,
And then you can invite people to leave comments that they can timestamp to specific parts of your audio. Everyone gets like notifications for all that stuff. Same thing with tasks. So you can assign tasks that are related to your team or your tracks or your project, to figure out what everyone's doing, what they need to do, give them deadlines, categorize stuff, sort, filter, all of that, and see an activity feed of everything that people have been working on as well. So there's a whole bunch of features there already. And we just want to try to figure out the most useful tool or tools that we can give you to help make your music more successful, or whatever that means to you.
Mhm.
So if you're interested in that, it's in closed beta right now, and we can get you in. All you have to do is ask. So if you want access, just ask us. Hit us up on Discord. That's probably the best way to do it,
Oops.
or Instagram, which is also there. FastTrack_music, or either of our individual ones. But yeah, just feel free to let us know if you want access, you want to try it out, and give us feature ideas. Give us your problems so we can figure out how to solve them.
Yeah, we got testimonials, by the way. Junkie Beat says, I'm digging the site, TBH. Listen
Hell
to
yeah.
Junkie. Yeah, check it out. And we'd love to give you guys access. Just let us know. Just DM us. And we'd love to have you guys test it out. And give us feedback, too. So, yeah. Cool. But please go easy on me. Well, I'm not that good at producing. I am so wet. Are you AIR? Did you submit Geisha? Is that you?
Yes, I think that is AIR.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Lo-fi hip hop. Okay. Did you introduce it?
No. So we've got
yeah.
Geisha,
Geisha.
and role as producer. Genre is lo-fi hip hop, and track artist says it's a beat, which is actually
Shino,
our
baby.
friend of the stream, Lil Shino. But
yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, you took it, but it's all right.
Yeah,
it might just be a beat.
Yes.
This is lo-fi hip hop. Are you trying to get somebody to like buy the beat and rap over it, or is this just like for lo-fi hip hop study playlists? Let us know. But cool. Yeah, I'm ready. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. We'll go easy. Uh-oh. That ended too early, abruptly.
Nice chimes. Not sure if the snare is matching the vibe right here.
It's like that.
It's kind of just
rap
like
808. Yeah.
I found a sample, and then the simplest way to add hip hop drums on top of it.
Yeah.
Start with snare, then do some hi hat.
The chimes player is going too hard right now. Some dissonance.
Bit of an awkward drum pattern so far. Okay, a new kick pattern. A different kick. Yeah, it sounds like you're just fucking around on your pad right now, honestly. The chime player.
Chime player trying to be the front man right now.
Yeah, for real. He's like, more vibes, more vibes. There's not enough vibes.
Did somebody say what chime?
Yeah.
Sorry, we should be going easy on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to be honest too.
Sure.
Sometimes you never hear it.
Thank you for sharing your music with us. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for putting yourself on the line, your heart and your soul, and your being with these wind chimes. Kind of feels like we're going in circles a little bit. Even the chord progression doesn't really have much of a resolution. It's kind of just different parts of his piano stitched together. It's a good kick sound. I like that. It adds ambiance.
I wonder what your influences are. Do you know who DJ Okawari is? Let me know.
Okay, a little bit abrupt there. Wait, there's something at the end. What's that?
Fucking wind chime? No fucking way, bro. All right, if this was a band, the wind chime player, you gotta cut him.
Dude, honestly, it just looking at that, I don't know if that's intentional, but it feels to me like the whole track just had wind chimes like randomly assorted, and it just happened to be still playing after the rest of the track was done.
It's pretty funny.
I'm curious how you chose where to put the chimes, or if you just kind of sprinkled them throughout the track and then there happened to be some past the end and everything else.
Mhm.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get you're trying to find a sound, you're trying to make something a little bit different, trying to make something really chill. Um, the basic building blocks for something chill are there. I think a lot of the sounds are valid for what you're trying to do, sound choices. But right now, the way that the percussion's played sounds super amateur. To just be totally transparent, it sounds like stuff that I made like starting out. This isn't even my genre of just
Mhm.
fucking around in like GarageBand,
Mhm.
where you're just like laying down kicks and snares, with buttons on your keyboard or a piano
Mhm.
keyboard or a pad, and not
From
really
humble
paying
beginnings.
yeah, and just not paying much attention to structure or like
Mhm.
what's the pattern, what's the drum pattern for this song, not just like, yeah, I guess a kick is okay if it just sounds kind of somewhat like this. You
Mhm.
have to get more specific, right? Don't just like play the first random thing that comes to mind. Think of like a groove, come up with a pattern that's unique that fits into this well and says something different than just the default, which is like usually kick somewhere on the one or around there and usually snare on the two and four. It's just like not exciting.
Hmm.
Doesn't sound like it's well thought out. So that's
Yeah. Yeah, that goes for sample choice too, and does it fit really the kind of vibe that you're trying to go for? Which we commented, this seems like to be a stock kind of 808 kit or maybe 606. I'm not sure exactly which one, but just electronic kit for hip hop typically. Whereas lo-fi hip hop, I don't want to put you in a box, but it's typically like maybe more acoustic sampling kind of drum set and drum breaks. So yeah, I don't
true.
know, like also, I'm curious on who you're trying to emulate because I mean, lo-fi hip hop one is huge. There's so many different artists and there's so many different kind of pioneers. It seems like you're in the stage of like kind of trying to get up to speed with your own sound, and a lot of the times it's a what is it? Mimicry is the highest form of flattery. Like you're trying to emulate kind of your hero's sound as well. I hear a little bit of like the cleanliness from wind chimes, funnily enough, too, but from DJ Okawati. So that's why I kind of pointed you in that direction. There's different flavors of lo-fi hip hop. He is like a little bit more cleaner, has a little bit more of an electronic sound, um, and is piano heavy versus something like Nujab is. He's also piano heavy, but he's like a little bit more vinyl, warm kind of sound. So acoustic, yeah, just to kind of put you onto some game. I'm not sure how well versed you are in it, but yeah, those are some people you can look into for some inspiration and some guidance, and maybe some comparison in terms of A being. In terms of vibes overall, I like the piano. I think that's the best melodic part that kind of holds everything together. Although it is a little bit simple. I would watch the notes you choose for the bass line. I'm not sure if they're in key. I think they might be in key, but just don't sound very um, grounding or like fundamental. They sound kind of offsetting. As soon as the bass comes in, for example, it's just like, oh, I wouldn't have chosen that note. And it's supposed to be like a serene scene. I feel like, but it something like that dissonance and that kind of unsteadiness doesn't really bring that scene to it. It just kind of makes it feel off. And the strings itself, it sounds like if this it sounds definitely electronic. Like it's like I imagine what you'd want is some sort of illusion that you're actually having someone play this cello solo, but the way that it's programmed, it sounds like the attack never changes. It sounds like every time they hit the string, they're hitting it the exact same way, which breeds to a sound that sounds unnatural and not what a human would actually do, who has emotions, who is trying to push and pull and like emphasize some notes and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
when programming stuff, and I'm not sure. I had to guess maybe you're drawing notes in the piano roll versus performing them. Because if you perform them, you can use tools like velocity or any sort of knobs that can help modulate the sound in some way. But right now, if I had to guess, it seems like you're programming them in the uh, a piano roll and not changing anything about the sounds.
Did you
So
see the chat?
no,
He said I'm using BandLab Mobile.
damn. Okay, so that's a pretty stripped back DAW.
Yeah.
Um,
Which also is the reason it's interesting that I said it sounds like GarageBand stuff because BandLab is the modern equivalent of GarageBand.
right.
And I say that not because of the way that it's set up. I mean, partly yes, because GarageBand also has reduced like tools
Mhm.
versus a real DAW, but it's also that the quality of stuff that tends to come out of them is similar.
Right. And like I find BandLab is a pretty nice tool for jotting ideas down if you're especially if you're on the go.
Yeah.
And also like they got this like multiplayer DAW thing that you could do with the same, and
Mhm.
it's like great for ideas. But yeah, in terms of making a song, past the idea level, which I suppose we're also kind of looking at here too, production wise, BandLab just seems pretty limited.
Yeah.
So
It's
keep that
it's
in mind.
partly the tools and it's also partly the musicianship. Like
Yeah.
being able to
And
put
yeah.
down parts that are well thought out, whether it's like the type of sound you're using or the way that they're played or the way that they are arranged.
Hmm.
It's just like, yeah, the being at just like putting things together in BandLab is like really far apart from like having good sound choice and good composition ability and good musicianship to lay down parts and good mixing and understanding how things fit together, crafting a story. Like there's a lot of work between those things, which I assume you know, give you the benefit of the doubt, but like yeah, it's up to you to decide what's the next thing that you care about that you want to focus on.
Hmm.
So like are do you want to get better at songwriting and the arrangement stuff? Do you want to find better sound choices? Do you want to find collaborators? Like what is it that you think you're excited about doing next? And so you should try to dig into that thing
Hmm.
because moving into a new area, like a new thing to learn, I think is what's going to push your quality up more than just correcting these mistakes inside of BandLab.
Hmm.
I think it's like low level skill sets that are needed to make something great. So you should focus on learning and trying new things, not just like improving inside of BandLab. I mean, not to say you can't keep using BandLab as a tool, but you're probably going to have an easier time if you can acclimate yourself to an environment that allows you to get further along with greater quality.
Hmm.
It's probably worthwhile to start making stuff inside of like an actual DAW, just so you are familiar with the tools. And when you're ready to really learn like mixing and the nitty gritty of like arrangement and automation and all that stuff, you'll have somewhat of the learning curve already tackled.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to say too. I'm not sure what BandLab's compatibility is with VSTs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, if you have something a little bit more established like FL Studio, I shouldn't lead with that. Ableton or Logic Pro or whatever, they'll definitely have like plugin makers that make these kind of more natural sounding instruments. You'll have access to, whereas BandLab, I don't know if I can guarantee that. I don't know if they have the compatibility. Like, there's many different plugins, some that are even free that sound very very nice and very real that could get you the sound that you need.
Hmm.
Um, I think you would also benefit from, there's some genres where it's good to program MIDI and you want to have a consistent like sound. But there's some genres I would argue like lo-fi hip hop or like jazz or whatever where playing it is key and like making it sound human is key. And um, yeah, like there's some obvious spots with the string instrument, for example, where you play the same note at like 3 or 4 times in a row, and it's the exact same audio sound, which is like super unnatural sounding. And you could do that in a skilled way intentionally, but I don't think that's what's happening. So yeah, um, automation is terrible. Yeah, it goes just goes directly up or down and not like a curve type. Exactly. Yeah, so you're limited. You know.
Did you
Um,
see the chat above that, the automation one?
yeah, the automation is terrible. Yeah.
No, the Asian Oriental lo-fi.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
interesting because I didn't get any of
I,
that from this.
uh, I mean,
Is the wind
geisha,
chime supposed to be? I guess, but is it, like what
geisha.
sound wise, not the title. Like,
Right. If I had to relate it to artists, that's why I was saying it sounds like DJ Okawati, and Nujabes as well. There seems to be some sort of like Oriental scale that's being played,
hmm.
but it's not super obvious. To your point, um, yeah, that's what I'm asking. I don't want to say your name. What's Air? I'll call you Air, not I'm so wet, because that could be clipped for bad
Oh, you
reasons.
said the name.
Yeah. It just goes directly up or down. Yeah, that's why I was kind of getting into like the VST availability. Like, there's probably a handful of instruments of Asian lo-fi or whatever instruments, or maybe even sample packs, and then like that's available to all DAWs, and then BandLab probably only has a subset of that. So you're kind of limiting yourself from the start. Um, and if you're not necessarily skilled with playing melodies just yet, hip hop and lo-fi hip hop as well is huge on sampling. So you can sample it and like chop it up in your own way and stuff like that too. You look at stuff like Jay Dilla, for example, where he was able to do it seamlessly and create new melodies from old. And and make it sound real. It's just amazing, and it's a work of art for real. So yeah, there's ways to do it, even if you don't have availability to the instruments themselves or the skill set to play the instruments. It's more so about the vision and the tools that you're able to use to get that vision. So yeah, seems like you're early in your career here. So I hope that that helps. We have a scoring system, so we'll go through it. But vibes, what do you got?
Hold on, I need a refresher.
Cool.
All right, yeah, I know where we're at. Lots of chimes.
Yeah, wind chime player got to cool it for sure. Um, yeah, I got a score.
Yeah, me too.
3, 2, 1.
Wow, that low.
Yeah, sounds very amateurish to me. I think it needs to be developed for sure. Um, it's not on the red. It's not on the red. But content, what do you got?
Yeah, I guess from what we just listened to, there are parts that I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice, but I think it falls apart a little bit when you really do zoom in on like content and to a lesser extent production. But
Mhm.
yeah, especially with content, it's just like things don't feel super logical. It feels like it kind of just goes on for forever. It's
Mhm.
like decent vibes, but with no structure to make it all come together as a story.
Mhm.
Uh, so I don't know. I think we've talked about it a bunch.
We have, yeah, and like the melodies, it sounds like the cello player has like a 32 bar solo, and it I wasn't like really gripped by it at all.
Yeah,
Um, and it seemed like kind of buried compared to everything else. The beat, the drum samples that were chosen were typical kind of stock in terms of trap, which that doesn't match the vibe at all, the serene vibe at all, and the melodic content between the bass and the piano. The piano I liked, and the cello just seemed to be not very well matched with each other. So that's kind of my content sandwich for you. Um, there's stuff that I like I said, the piano, um, but there's a lot of stuff I think needs to be developed. So that goes into my score. You have a score?
yep.
3, 2, 1. In production.
Yeah, and then production. I mean, there are parts that sound okay. Like I like some of the instrument choices, but let me find a representative patch here. Yeah, a lot of it doesn't sound bad. There's nothing
Mhm.
like really offensive.
Yeah,
Uh,
it doesn't hurt.
yeah, true.
Mhm. But yeah, production maybe goes to the automation stuff too. Like, yeah, it seems very stock and maybe not thought about. So
True.
hopefully that we could open your eyes there a little bit.
Yeah.
But cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a score too. 3, 2, 1.
Cool.
And track total. I got mine.
Yeah, me too.
3, 2, 1. Yup.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for the submission and welcome to making music. Thanks for
Yeah,
giving feedback and opening up for
you're
it.
on the journey. Our scale here, by the way, you can probably see there is like redo is like this is horrible. You should totally scrap it and redo everything.
Mm,
Develop is like yeah, like you need to develop kind of everything, and then good to go is like everything is like radio ready.
mm,
This is leaning towards like you've got some good stuff to work from here, but you've got a lot to do to get to like radio ready to something
mm,
that people would broadly listen to.
mhm,
So yeah, again, hopefully our feedback is helpful, and we're always happy to listen to your stuff. If you work on this or you work on something else, and come back on our next stream. So yeah, just stick around. Again, we've got our Twitch here. You can follow us. You can join our Discord.
mhm,
All of that, and also this goes to everyone. If you want to try the platform, if you want to collaborate with people that you work with in an environment, you can upload your projects and tracks and leave comments with timestamps and create tasks and all that stuff. Create your team, then just reach out to us and we'll give you access to it.
mhm.
So yeah, thanks for the submission.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate you. And you can stick around and give other people feedback too. Um, cool. And then, yeah, right now, everybody, I'll go ahead and send the feedback link here. If you guys are listening and you haven't submitted your song, now's the time to do it. We got a completely open queue. We do have Marma here, but they've already submitted a track before, so we want to give anybody else a chance. If they want us to listen to their track before we go to Marma, please do it now. if you are like stuck at our submission screen, let us know in the chat, and we can help you out as well. We can save that spot. Otherwise, we can go to Marma next because we are impatient and we want to listen to music. So, again, I'm submitting or putting that feedback link in the chat. Use it if you want us to listen to your song, and if you submit it, we'll listen to it right now. So right now, let us know. If not, we could go ahead and maybe introduce Marma's track again. Again, if somebody submits in that time, we will prioritize them first. But I think Marma's still here, so shout out to you, Marma. Appreciate you. I wouldn't mind another Marma song because it was pretty dang good from when I listened to. But yeah, so I'll have Josh go ahead and just introduce the song. And again, if people want to submit, just do it or let us know, and we'll help you out.
Yeah. So let us know if anybody wants to submit. Just chat us like right now in the next 5 seconds. Like I'm submitting, so we don't go onto this next track. So I'll give you 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. Going once, going twice. Marma wins it. All right, so we'll push that to live and we'll introduce it. The song is Entropy. The roles are just beatmaker. Actually, wait, did that update? Yeah, it did. You are again beatmaker. Genres this time chill step and also electronic. And then
let me get a drop.
Yeah. Description is comp mix vibe check. Comp, I assume, means composition.
Yes.
We can do that.
Cool.
That's basically our scoring system here.
Yes, indeed. Cool. Appreciate you, Marma. You ready?
Yep, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Crispy ass drums, bro.
Yeah, very crispy. A little staticky thing is nice too. A shaker or something. We need a little bit more low end. And I'll bet you it's a speaker's issue.
There's a decay on the bass.
Cool side chaining.
More percussive, melodic here. Reminds me kind of Tennyson a little bit.
that tail could be a little bit shorter, but it's cool.
Yeah, very
Um,
cool. Very lush, very rich in terms of
yeah,
content here.
yeah.
Very tickling to the ear, I would say.
Hmm.
Lots to enjoy here. Shout out to Marma. Shout out Entropy. What stage is this at? Is this done? Is this released? Is this uh, up for us to kind of dive in a little bit and be like, yo, like, what do you think about this, this, and this? We'll do that anyways, but just curious. Josh, what do you got? Vibes, first impressions?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's this is probably my favorite track from this stream.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's engaging. It's got a lot of like drama, but it's not overdone. There's good like dynamic range, like things quiet down, and they come back up, and
Mm-hmm. Well, the track really transforms too. Just
yeah,
very
yeah, it
interesting.
transforms a lot. It keeps things interesting. Even this sort of longer part, it was kind of like there's not much happening, but it's so like ethereal that it kind of puts you in a little bit of a trance,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of wakes you up when it goes into that next section. I
Yeah.
think really nicely.
I thought
So
it led in this new player in the game, this new main character, this alien synth, ooh,
yeah,
kind of thing. I think that it kind of introduced it very masterfully. Very cool.
yeah,
And then there's like a new supporting cast of like these kind of more dubby electronic style basses that were there too, a little more rough around the edges
hmm,
to support that vibe. Very cool indeed. So yeah, I like that a lot.
yeah,
Getting vibes of like a little bit of Tennyson in the beginning there.
hmm.
Tennyson, very cool group. On it used to be Skrillex label, I believe, but yeah, just very clean sounding, very rich in melodies, very rich in textures. So cool. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, do you have anything else before we give a vibe score?
Um, Not really. I mean, I think my main takeaway is that I most of my wants and desires for this are in the mixing department.
Yeah,
It's
me
really
too.
just like want like a little bit more impact out of the kick and snare elements.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's kind of the
Especially
main
when
thing.
there's like little switch ups where they emphasize it and then it just doesn't hit hard because it's not
Yeah,
mixed like it should be.
yeah, and I think the low end here is a bit of an issue also.
Hmm.
I'm wondering, what are you mixing on? Like, what system are you mixing on? Let us know, because that might help us determine like what we can suggest.
Indeed.
I've got a score if you do for vibes.
Yeah, let's do it. Three, two, one.
Cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
Hmm.
Content.
Um, yeah, I think it's good. Wait, you just mix on Ableton. I mean, like, what speakers do you
Yeah, yeah,
use?
yeah. Where's Air, bro? See, he didn't say BandLab,
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
but
Good job.
yep.
Um, but yeah, as far as content goes, again, I think it's a really interesting journey. I think the length feels okay. Ah, you use your ATHs. Now that's interesting. Same headphones, and we're like, doesn't seem like there's quite enough bass. Um, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, professional mix engineers, almost all of them, would suggest that you use real speakers to do mixing, just because it helps you like sort out the stereo field and some like comb filtering stuff, like stuff that happens in the air but doesn't necessarily happen the same way in headphones that are isolated from each other. So you can use headphones for certain parts of mixing, but yeah, it's kind of the hardest thing about getting mixing to sound really great is
Mhm.
that in order to be good at it, you have to spend a lot of money. You have to have decent enough speakers. You have to have a good room. You have to treat the room. There's a lot that goes into getting a good mixing setup.
Yeah,
So
my curiosity is if you are you A/Bing with songs that you want to sound similar
yeah,
because even with a kind of limited headset, I mean this should be pretty decent in spotting out those differences. I wonder if you hear that.
I mean, the one thing that these struggle with a lot is low end. So I don't know if
Mhm.
you're using like any sort of analytical tools in Ableton to figure out your low end, but you might need to use something that gives you a clearer picture of that range. You said, I think, what you said, I think the problem I run into is pushing my low end too hard into the limiter and it crushes it. Okay. My ears, I think, are too used to where it is right now because I've heard that same point being made with some of my friends who have listened. A B mixing would be super big, actually. Big ups. Yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
Just
yeah. So you're
I mean, when you're in the mastering process, like I would just put another track in. That way you can kind of just solo it and then solo your master bus and be like, okay, how does it sound?
yeah.
Ideally you want it to sound pretty similar timbre wise. So yeah.
Yeah,
It helps
definitely.
a lot for sure. So glad we could help. Hee hee. All right. Especially a guy with like shout out to you. I think artistically you're awesome. So it's humbling to be able to help like a person like you.
Hmm.
So cool. You have anything else for content? I thought it was a treat to listen to. So I don't think I have anything really in the critique department. Just kind of adoration. More so for me, and like Josh said too, it's the production,
Hmm.
which is still pretty good. It's just there's some things that we feel like could be a little bit better. So
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
yeah, I have a score to you.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Bro.
Cool.
Production.
Yeah, then production is, I think the low end stuff like just needs to feel a little bit more present, a little bit more immersive,
Mhm.
and some of those snares, whatever that thing you're using instead of a snare sounds kind of like hitting like a metal lamp.
Mhm.
Or hitting like a pan or something.
Mhm.
It's interesting. I don't
And
think
the
it's
kick
bad.
drum sounds like you're hitting a box, like very hollow. Like I
Yeah,
need more. I need more oomph.
that could be mixing. I wonder with the snare thing, like I think for that sound, it makes sense for it to be a single take. But I was thinking, like, what if you double it, some stereo stuff? But
Mhm.
I don't know. I think you just need to find a way. It might be layering that with something else actually that provides a little bit more of that impact and that oomph.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's that would help a lot with the track. I think.
Yeah, I wonder if I could find a section. Let me see. Skip around here real quick. Let's see. Here. So like that little switch up there, it's just the bass, and I'd want it to kind of fill up my ears because it's the only thing that's
Yeah.
happening. But it doesn't. It comes out as like kind of hollow, and that's a shame because it's a cool switch up. So something like that where I think if you mixed it a little bit more bass heavy, it would be more impactful. But yeah, I was hoping I could find it, and I did. But yeah, A/B mixing. I hope that'll help. Um, cool. Otherwise, I think everything sits pretty well. Nothing really clashes. I'm able to pick out kind of new things every time I listen to it, which is fantastic. It's rich. It's not overwhelming. A lot of replay value here, I would say too. Just kind of some picky things here and there, mainly low end. And I kind of like the cool snare sound. I agree. I could see where he's coming from, though. It sounds a little bit narrow in terms of the frequency space that it's operating in, but very resonant too. But I think it's cool.
It's cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, production. I have a score to you.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Track total.
Yep. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Yeah. Shouts out to you. We like
I
your
like
music a
it.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep going around. Appreciate you.
Yeah. This is dope.
Ye I gotta. Did I put in the vote here? Thanks for all the feedback, fellas. Love the stream and what y'all do. I'll be for sure tuning in again. Some actually rare, helpful feedback. Yeah, no, that's our little differentiator. Tell your friends too if they do it. We love to talk to you. And again, like I'll probably try to hit you up because I'm curious what your strategy is for your EP release and stuff. Um, we find that a lot of people that we talk to have problems with that. I wonder if you're like that. You might be a super big artist and have a fan base, and we just have to investigate. But yeah, I'll try to be in touch. But
Hmm.
yeah, until then, we're here typically every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Central, 2 hours. This week Friday it's holiday, so we won't be here. But the week after that we'll be back. So stick around in the Discord. If you submit a song, between now and the next stream, you also get email notified the day that we do it. So submit it in, you'll be in there. We also announce it in Discord every time. So uh, go into Discord if you'd like to do that as well. And follow us on Twitch as well. You'll get notified. So yeah, we definitely want to hear more of your stuff.
Hmm.
Cool. Do you have anything else to say, Joshua?
Nope. Just make sure if you want access to the beta to let us know. So that's again to create your own teams so you can see everyone's roles, communicate with messaging, see what's going on in all your projects, and yeah, create projects, create tracks with versions as you iterate that you can leave timestamped comments on, create tasks. People get notified when things happen, and lots more to come. So if you want to have some input on what we build, if there's anything that you feel like you struggle with as an artist that you'd like some help with, just let us know. You can obviously reach out to talk to us. You can also ask for access to the beta to see if it helps you at all, or if you have any ideas sparked from using it. So yeah, we're super excited about all of that. Again, we'll be back next Friday, 5:30 to 7:30 Central Time. So send us your tracks. You can put those in the queue now if you want, and you'll get notified by email the morning of that stream.
Yep.
And yeah, otherwise, hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving and stay safe out there. Get some good Black Friday deals. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Go fight somebody for a TV.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Knock a muff out. Legends. Appreciate you.
Yes, we do not condone violence. All right.
Well, I do. That is
Chris
great.
does.
Consensual.
Chris's personal endorsement.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
All right.
you. And
Peace out, everyone.
see you later. Bye
See
bye.
ya.
We'll see what live stream.